What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the vlog and welcome back to the channel. So I just rolled over 65,000 miles in my F30. To be exact, it's 65,455 miles to the dot. But you guys, I wanted to make this video because I think it's a good time to kind of review the maintenance and everything that I've had to do in order to keep this car. And I'll be entirely upfront with you guys. I think that BMW and the N20 engine kind of get a bad rep when really they're not that bad at all. This engine in this car for me has been fantastic. For 65,000 miles, I really haven't ran into any crazy issues. So a few months back, I made a video about how much I spent on the car and how much I purchased it for. I actually bought this car at about 24,000 miles and I spent about 24K on it. The price in the F30 has depreciated quite a bit, but in terms of reliability and maintenance, I've been incredibly lucky with my car. But I think it's more than just good luck, you guys. I take really good care of this car and I'm really on top of everything when it comes to maintenance. I do everything before it needs to be done. I know what to look out for. And any of the issues that I could potentially have, I usually nip them in the butt before they even become an issue. There was really only one kind of strange thing that has happened to me while owning this car at about 50K. The e-brake internals in the rear brakes actually failed on me, but that was due to this car being a northern car. So it sat in the snow and the salt a lot, and the e-brake internals were completely rusted. So one day I'm literally driving down the road and the brakes just completely lock up on me and my car is stranded on the side of the road. I had to have it towed to my local shop, and we peeled apart those rear brakes and found the issue right there. But I really don't think that that's something that's going to affect everyone who owns an F30. Maybe if you live in the north, and maybe if you just let the car sit outside, you have more of a chance of that happening. But it did teach me a valuable lesson that I probably won't be buying a northern car ever again, because I just don't want that to be an issue when it comes to salt, rust, snow, that kind of thing. Other than that though, you guys, it's only been routine maintenance. Spark plugs, oil changes. I haven't had any of the belts replaced. However, I am doing the serpentine belt next weekend. I'm doing the serpentine belt and then I'm having my brakes looked at again just to make sure that everything is cool. The serpentine belt right now has 65K on it. It's never been changed and it is about that time where I should change it out. It's showing a little bit of wear on it. So that's just something I want to handle before it even becomes an issue. And really the reason that I'm making this video is because it's so important to find yourself a local shop that you trust. And even if that is the dealership and you have a great experience with the dealership, then awesome, continue to go to the dealership. But I have built a relationship with my local shop, Dynamic Auto Tune, and they've taken care of me and they know what to look out for with these cars because they really only work on like BMWs mostly. So they know exactly what to look out for. I just can't stress enough how important it is to find yourself a local shop that knows exactly what they're doing. And they don't just simply fix the car and bill you, they educate you. They show you what's wrong with it. They show you why they have to fix it. They show you how they're gonna fix it. These things are so important for you as a consumer to understand how your car works and functions, and you have a little bit more of what to expect in the future when it comes to maintaining and owning your car. So I consider myself super lucky because I found a shop that is just 100 with me. They keep it straight all the time. They treat me really well and they always tell me what to look out for next in the car. And every time that I go there and even do like an oil change or spark plugs or brakes or whatever, we look over the entire car and do a diagnostic. They drive it and they say, hey, you know, this kind of feels like this. You should probably be looking out for this in the future, or everything's all good. You really don't need to worry about anything right now. So I think that aside from this being like a maintenance video on my car, just from like a 65K review maintenance video, it's also so important that you guys find yourself a local shop that you trust, build that relationship with them, and like primarily use them to work on your car so they know your vehicle even better than you. So I really don't have to worry. I go there and they know what to expect, I know what to expect, and it's just this really transparent relationship when it comes to maintaining the vehicle. So as you guys may have seen, I made a video about 2 weeks ago talking about the timing chain guide and timing chain issues in the F30 BMW, which sparked sparked a lot of interest with people. I had a lot of people engaging, talking about their experiences on it, which is awesome because it kind of turned the comment section into like a forum where people were going to get more information, and they were working together on figuring out what to look out for and what to expect when it came to this issue. I personally have not had an issue with it yet, but my car does fall under that bracket of cars that could potentially have issues with it. So I have decided that I'm going to take care of it before it even becomes a problem. And I'm not doing it through the dealership. I'm actually going to be doing it through my local shop. And there's a few reasons for that. I just have more faith and trust in my local shop than I do a dealership. And there are so many parts that are put on this car that were done at my local shop that I feel like it's a better decision for me to just go through them and have them take care of it, because they know exactly how to uninstall and reinstall all the parts that we put on this car. We've taken so much time and effort to make sure that this car is like in perfect condition when it comes to the quality, the showmanship, and the way that things were installed. I don't want to mess that up by taking it to a dealer who just like hastily wants to take things out and put them back in. So for me, it makes more sense to go to my local shop and have them do it. And I just have the most trust in them. I've built up this relationship with them, and I know that they're gonna do it properly. So in my opinion, with the amount of money that I put into this car, I need to protect that investment and just have my local shop do it for me. So it is something that I'm putting on the schedule, and I am going to have done sooner than later. My plans for the car are to go to stage 2 and to get a catless downpipe after I do my inspections. So I don't wanna have to risk it with a timing chain guide when I go to stage 2, because I know the engine is going to be under more stress, and the last thing I want to do is obviously blow my engine on this car that I've taken so much time and effort to put work into. So this is one of those things where we see all these videos of people putting parts on their cars and having them tuned and having them super fast, but you have to understand that a big part of that, the only reason that that is possible, is because you're maintaining it well. And if you're not maintaining the car well, then you're not going to be able to do all the modifications. I mean, maybe you can, but they're not going to last long. So I often have a lot of people who reach out to me talking about, well, can I tune my car if I don't have any modifications done, or if it's stock? And usually I tell them that the two things that they should decide to do before they tune to a stage 1 with boot mode is they should at least consider changing out the turbo inlet pipe and the charge pipe, because the stock ones are very cheap plastic and they're prone to cracking under higher boost. And that's exactly what boot mode does. It's going to increase your boost levels and put more strain on those pipes. So I just think if you're going to go to boot mode and you're going to do stage 1, take the time and do it properly. Get a turbo inlet pipe, get the charge pipe, put those in, and then you at least have that peace of mind that you're being tuned and you can run the car under a little more strain without having any issues. Because for you to spend a couple of $100s up front to make sure that the car is prepped and ready for the tune, that's far better than you spending $20K after you've blown your engine. I don't know if it's $20K, I'm just throwing a figure out there, but I think it's up there. I think it's close to that, and honestly, these cars aren't even worth that. I think my car is worth like 14 or 15 grand on a good day. And that's one of the things about these cars, they've depreciated in value so much. I mean, I bought this car for 24K with 24K miles on it, and I think it's worth like 13 to 15K right now. So in the past 4 years, it's tanked almost 10 grand, which is just crazy because I pretty much lost all the money that I've thrown into the car, but that's okay. Honestly, this is my project and I really enjoy modifying it and doing everything that I'm doing alongside with the vehicle. But it's also really good for other people because you guys can now get into these cars for 13 to 15K. But with that being said, you guys, if you're buying a BMW for 13, 10, 15K, whatever it may be, and you're like, oh, I can afford this car because it's so cheap, you better be ready to drop some money when it comes to maintenance or parts. I keep getting people who email me or message me questions like, why are these parts so expensive? My BMW is so costly to maintain. You bought a BMW. Like, BMWs in general are very pricey. So I just think it's really funny when people are buying these cars for 13, 14, 15K and they're complaining because parts are expensive or like the modifications are expensive. It's just that your car isn't worth as much anymore. So you can still expect to pay the same amount for maintenance, and especially all the aftermarket parts that you're putting on the car. If you guys aren't ready to drop the coin for that kind of stuff, then this honestly just may not be the car for you. And it's important for you to understand that. When I first got my driver's license when I was 16 years old, dude, I wasn't driving around a BMW. I was driving around an Acura, like a Honda essentially, right? And so all of the parts for that car were really cheap and it was super cheap to maintain. I mean, unless you're just like made of money, that's what a kid should be driving when they first get their license. Probably not a BMW. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But let's be entirely honest, I am not your father, and you can go ahead and buy whatever car you want. And honestly, more power to you if you want to get the F30 BMW. It's a fantastic car. I've absolutely loved it to 65,000 miles. And they usually say that 60K to like 100K is where the problems start happening. So I'm really curious to see how this car performs over the next few years for me. I'm not getting rid of the car. I absolutely love it. So we're gonna hang on to the car. We're gonna keep going into modifications. I have some really exciting stuff coming up for you guys. I have the downpipe and then the stage 2, and I kind of want to dive into the interior. This car is slowly but surely becoming, I wouldn't say like a full-blown show car, but it is a car that I want to start taking to shows more, like expo shows, like indoor shows, like proper shows. And so the fine details like the interior and the engine bay, all of these things are starting to matter to me. So I'm going to take the time to do it properly. In the immediate future, I do have the M Sport steering wheel that I'm doing, and I do have the upgraded screen, and I do have like a backup camera that I'm putting in, along with a bunch of other like smaller miscellaneous things on the interior. And that's exciting to me because these interiors are the parts that you really use the most and you see the most when you're driving the car. So it's like, those are the things that matter the most. And I think that that's really why so many people grabbed onto the ambient lighting kit, because it's a cheap little modification, but it's on the inside of the car and you see it every day. And so like that's one of those things that makes a big difference because you're constantly using it or you're constantly around it. Anyways guys, I'm not gonna ramble on much longer, but that's kind of my 65K review. It's honestly been a really good run so far. Like I've been super lucky. I've really only had that one weird instance with my internal e-brakes failing on me. But other than that, the car has been fantastic. So I've really just kept up on my general maintenance. I did the spark plugs, oil change, and my brakes. But when it came time to do the brakes, I actually had a chance to do even better brakes. So really, it was like a maintenance slash upgrade kind of deal. I had no problem spending a little more money on the brakes because it really was more than just maintenance. I was actually upgrading. So in the end, it was gonna make a difference. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please do like this video. Make sure you comment down below. Let's get like a forum chat going, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.